Okay, so we've talked about the muscles of the thigh. Now we're going to be talking about the bone of the thigh, which is called the femur. Right now we're looking at it from a posterior view. How we can tell is we see the lesser trochanter here sticking out and the greater trochanter as well. So the way you can tell it's posterior, at least, is based on the lesser trochanter's location, because if we head it anteriorly, we don't see it as well. Additionally, we have the lateral side of the femur, which is where the greater trochanter pokes out. You can actually feel this on your upper thigh. And the medial side, where the head of the femur goes into the hip joint or labrum. Anyways, going into our structures, we need to know, as I said, still posterior, we have the head of the femur, which is this ball, accompanied by the neck of the femur, which is pretty self-explanatory. Moving further, we have the greater trochanter of the femur, which is that lateral protuberance. And posteriorly, we have the lesser trochanter, which is seen here. Now, connecting the two, I'm just going to spin it so you can see it a bit easier. We have the intertrochanteric crest. So that will connect the two trochanters on the posterior surface. This isn't to be confused with the anterior surface, where we have the intertrochanteric line. So that will still connect the trochanters, but notice how it's the line, whereas on the posterior surface, it's more of a ridge or a crest. Okay. Further, if we look medially, sorry, excuse my lighting, you will see the trochanteric fossa, which is that bowl shape indentation. Okay. Still on the posterior surface, we have a thing called the gluteal tuberosity. And that's right where my two thumbs are meeting. It's not really too clear on this model, but it is a small little tuberosity that comes off the posterior surface. And further, we have the next structure called the linea aspera. And that is this hard ridge that my pen is following as we move superiorly all the way down to the distal end of the femur, which we'll get to now. So this is still a posterior view. Between the two condyles, we have the intercondylar fossa, which is once again that indentation. If we flip it over to the anterior surface, which is shown here, we have the patellar surface, where the patella will sit, and the medial and lateral condyles. So remembering, if I put it back to a full view, we have the medial side where the ball points and the lateral side to where the trochanter sticks out. So that still translates down to the distal, where we have the lateral and the medial condyles. The only fun thing to it, to pull it back up, if you remember back to your humerus anatomy, we have the condylar ridges. So we have a medial condylar ridge or line and a lateral condylar ridge or line. The only thing you have to remember about these two is that we have a fun little tubercle that comes off the medial condyle. That is called your adductor tubercle.